The Great Singapore Poo Sale and Other Beastly Business by Maureen Yeo. Chapter 1. When the world was new, the Father of creation dressed her in a robe of blue waters and girded her with a green belt right around her middle. She was beautiful, and so he created animals to live in her lands. One of these lands was a small jewel on the green belt. It was called the Emerald Eye. This was its old name, for it was shaped like a diamond, and the folds of the robe of waters converged upon that place. Soon, people came to the Emerald Eye, carried over the deep blue velvet folds of the robe of waters. There, they found a rich land. Sea eagles circled the hot, life-giving sun. The briny waters teemed with fish of 1,000,000 colors. Crocodiles with eyes of fire and amber lived in the generously mucky swamps, and the jungles were thick with sweet fruits and fragrant flowers. Where the animals saw food and shelter, the people saw opportunity. So they came, and they kept coming. The people did not know about the old name, so they gave the land a new one. They leveled the mountains and filled the swamps. They cut down the forest and threw filth into the ocean. They had guns and used them. The animals fought back. But soon, General Tiger was vanquished, and his stripes were seen no more in Singapore. For many years, the animals had no leader. They survived as best they could, and still the people kept coming. One day, Tortoise called a council of the animals. He went this way and that, on land and in the water, slowly but surely inviting everyone. He was not the fastest, strongest, bravest, wisest, oldest, or most beautiful, but the animals came because Tortoise was known for doing all things well. They had seen his marvelous effort, and they knew he had spent countless hours on his rock in the sun, thinking so hard that his mouth hung open with the exertion. So they all came to hear what he had to say, even the ones who were natural enemies. An official truce was called, so Rat had nothing to fear from Python, and everyone managed to smile back when the crocodiles grinned. Thank you all very much for coming," Tortoise announced from a puddle. His voice wavered as it took a lot for him to come out of his shell. "I have called this council to see what we can do about the people," he said simply. "There are just too many of them, and they keep taking more land. I would like to hear your good ideas because I have none." "Modest reptile," Mother Wild Boar said approvingly. "It was a good idea to bring us together. Together is how we shall solve our problems." As she said this, her piglet stopped squabbling for her teats and obediently gathered under her warm, bristly belly. Upon witnessing the good behavior of these little children, even the most contrary of creatures felt compelled to cooperate. "We must go to war again," snarled Leopard Cat, who was still sore over Tiger's crushing defeat. "Again?" asked the pigeons, suddenly cooing and flapping frenziedly. "We didn't know the war had ended. We've still been dropping bombs." "Let's complain to our Member of Parliament," cried Cricket, who liked to make a lot of noise. "They meet the people, silly," hissed Spitting Cobra. "Everyone be quiet and listen to our genius master plan," screeched the macaques. Everyone settled down immediately. The macaques were fiendishly cunning, and since they most closely resembled the humans, all the animals were curious to hear what they would suggest. Alpha Macaque eyed everyone shrewdly. After years of snatching children's bags at McRitchie Reservoir and poring over the contents, we macaques have taught ourselves how to read and write. At this, the macaques whooped and screamed riotously for impact. We have also successfully broken into some of the human dwellings that border our hill territories, Alpha Macaque bragged to more wild whoops from the troop. All this training was in service of a daring scheme. We believe we are now ready to break into the Astana and rewrite the Constitution of Singapore. The manic monkeys went absolutely bananas at this, swinging everywhere enthusiastically, flinging leaves, and making a tremendous ruckus. The excitement was too much for timid Mouse Deer, who promptly fainted. A traumatized pangolin curled tightly into a scaly ball and refused to be consoled. As for the other animals, most of what Alpha Macaque suggested had gone right over their heads. What's a constitution? Asked Mouse Deer nervously when he came to. What is the Astana? Pangolin's muffled voice could only just be heard from the depths of the ball. Monitor Lizard stepped forward grandly. His huge tail swished from side to side. The Astana is where the alpha human lives, and the Constitution is a leaf that sets down the code the humans live by, Monitor Lizard intoned in his deep baritone. He flicked out his long forked tongue and tasted the uncertainty in the air. I have been monitoring a crack surveillance team and gathering data on the Astana to help the macaques, Monitor Lizard offered by way of explanation. The geckos have been our eyes and ears in this delicate operation. The geckos chirped in agreement, startling everyone. Mouse Deer fainted again. The mottled geckos had been so well camouflaged against the underside of a branch that no one had even noticed they were at the meeting. We will execute our plan this very night, and you shall witness the dawning of an epic new era, Alpha Macaque proclaimed. With that, the whole macaque troop swept noisily out of the council, crashing through the undergrowth like a hairy band of hooligans. Well, that's that then, said Tortoise uncertainly. There seemed little point in continuing the meeting, so the animals drifted off to their homes, feeling skeptical and hopeful in roughly equal measure.